On Global TV News Prime, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu converts Federal Polytechnic Nasarawa University of Mining. Let's quickly go on a very quick break. News Prime continues shortly. Stay tuned. Global TV News Prime, President Bola Tinubu converts Federal Polytechnic Nasarawa University of Mining and Technology. In business, federal government NDDC launched 500 million trade initiative. And on the foreign scene, Barbados Prime Minister rejects calls to repay Britain on colonial investment. And in sports, Justice Maldagu names 25 players Super Falcons squad for title defense. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. Now, a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, Star Times channel 276, and Free TV. Now the news in full. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the conversion of the Federal Polytechnic Nasarawa into the Federal University of Mining, Engineering and Technology as part of effort to strengthen technical education and develop Nigeria's solid minerals sector. The specialized institution will focus on mining, engineering, mineral processing, metallurgy, manufacturing, and emerging technologies while producing skilled manpower to drive industrialization and value addition. Now, the President has directed the Federal Ministry of Education, the National Universities Commission, and other related agencies to begin the legal and administrative processes required to implement the upgrade. Chairman of the Board of Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria and former National Chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, has called for stronger private sector collaboration to support Nigeria's effort to eradicate polio. Ganduje made the appeal at the installation ceremony of Sekiri Adetona Owomikoko as the new District 9127 Governor of the Rotary Club in Abuja. Samuel Odi reports.
Ganduje commends the club for its long decades commitment to global fight against polio, describing the organization as a dependable partner in advancing public health. He stressed that while government has made significant progress in immunization, sustained success in eliminating the disease requires greater involvement of private sector development partners and other stakeholders.
This occasion is reminding us about the institution of Rotary Club, which is a very, very strong institution. And that is why we have sustainability. You know, in Nigeria, we have a lot of humanitarian challenges, especially with the insecurity issues and also with the economic issues because of the progressive review of our laws. We have to, bear with the government. Therefore, humanitarian services are mostly needed at the moment.
In her remarks, keynote speaker Dr. Aishatu Kabir describes impact as a defining hallmark of the new Rotary District Governors Administration, urging members to focus on the initiative that brings lasting change to communities. She noted that true leadership is measured not by title, but by the positive difference made in people's lives, emphasizing that the new district's leadership has the opportunity to deepen Rotary's humanitarian intervention through service, collaboration, and innovation.
Impact is not always made public. Sometimes it is made in the labor room, in exam halls, in hospital corridors, in quiet moments when someone says, "I am here." Today, sir, Rotary is not only investing you with an office, it is affirming what many of us already know. You are a man whose life has already been a long testimony of service.
The new governor, Sikiru Adetona Owonikoko, appreciated God Almighty, family, and friends for the support they have given him on the journey of being a district governor.
9125 go back to 9126 and 9127. Now in the House, we have district governor from 9142, and it starts all the way from the eastern part of Nigeria. And I think I need to give you a special recognition. Last week, Saturday, I was with him in the room, and he's here with me today. Thank you very much for coming.
He further reaffirms his commitment to carrying out more humanitarian support. He urged all Rotarians from District 9127 to support as much as to push the Rotary Club International forward. Samuel Odi, Global Television News.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has expressed profound joy at the successful rescue of the children and teachers from a Orire community in Ogbomosho, Oyo State, by security forces. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu praised the heroic effort of the security agencies, especially the military, the DSS, and the police for working round the clock in the last 56 days to secure the release of the abducted children and their teachers without any collateral damage, and for arresting 8 of the abductors and neutralizing others. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu regretted the anguish that the children and their teachers, as well as members of their families and the entire nation, have experienced since the sad occurrence. For cooperating with the federal government in all rescue efforts, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu commended the Oyo State government and charged it to ensure adequate security around schools across the state. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has also directed that emergency agencies work with Oyo State government to provide all necessary medical and relief support to the children and the teachers. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Army says multiple arrests made during a month-long intelligence-led operation forced the kidnappers of 44 pupils and teachers in Orire local government area of Oyo State to release their captives unconditionally. The operation, led by General Officer Commanding 2 Division Major General C.R. Inebefa, include security agencies, intelligence service, and local security outfits that dismantled the kidnappers' network and logistics base across Oyo and neighboring states. The Army says sustained pressure from the coordinated operation disrupted the activities of the criminal gang and ultimately secured the safe release of the victims. The Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, BON, has hailed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Nigeria security agencies for the successful rescue of the abducted pupils and their teachers in Orire local government area of Oyo State, describing the operation as a major breakthrough in the fight against kidnapping. In a statement signed by the Executive Secretary, Dr. Yemisi Gbamaguse, BON praised the Nigerian Army, the police, the Director of State Services, and other security agencies for their professionalism, courage, and effective interagency coordination that secured the victims' safe return. And the organization also commended Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde and residents for their cooperation with security agencies, urging the security forces to drive in operations against criminal elements nationwide. BON expressed optimism that with continued political support and stronger collaboration among security agencies, kidnapping and banditry would significantly curtailed, while calling for the speedy rescue of other victims still held captive across the country. Over now to the All Progressive Congress, APC has officially endorsed Vice President Kashim Shettima as the running mate to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the 2027 presidential election. APC National Chairman Professor Nantawe Yelwada says the party is rewarding loyalty, commitment, and service with the decision. Obong Osoro tells us more.
At the official unveiling of its presidential running mate and submission of the nomination form in Abuja, the leadership of the All Progressive Congress, APC, formally endorsed Vice President Kashim Shettima as the party's vice presidential candidate for the 2027 presidential election. Speaking at the event, the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Professor Nantawe Yelwada, said Vice President Kashim Shettima has remained a loyal and committed member of the party.
It's a reflection of the wishes of over 12 million of our members of APC, who overwhelmingly voted Mr. President as their candidate to flag off the party candidature in the 2027 presidential election.
Suleiman Mohammed, the APC National Organizing Secretary, charged Shettima to remain steadfast in supporting the policy and programs of the party and the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Want everybody to follow you, continue to support the party, support the leadership of the party, always, and continue to pray to our leaders, to our party, and to our dear country. And we also use this opportunity to thank all our governors, all the wonderful things they are doing in their respective states, providing dividends of democracy.
Felix Morka, the National Publicity Secretary of APC, added that the party's decision reflects its tradition of rewarding loyalty and dedication.
The candidate of our party is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Hope Uzodinma, Imo State's governor, said APC governors unanimously support the Tinubu-Shettima ticket and pledged to work for the re-election of President Tinubu in the 2027 presidential election.
We are in our manners to support the political advisor to Mr. President to submit to the INEC nomination form for our presidential candidate and his running mate for the January presidential election 2027.
The endorsement of Kashim Shettima as President Tinubu's running mate is expected to strengthen the APC's preparations for the 2027 presidential elections. Ubong Usoro, Global TV News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima says ongoing reforms in Nigeria's public procurement system have saved the federal government more than 1.1 trillion naira in 2025 while improving transparency, accountability, and fiscal discipline. Now, the Vice President said the Bureau of Public Procurement has introduced 23 strategic initiatives aimed at strengthening governance and improving budget implementation. He reaffirmed the Tinubu administration's commitment to institutional reforms that enhance public service delivery and ensure prudent management of public resources. Over now to the Nigerian Air Force says precision airstrikes carried out by the air component of Operation Hadin K has destroyed a terrorist enclave and logistics base at Yanganari in Gazua area of Borno State. The operation followed intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions that confirmed renewed terrorist activity and the concentration of fighters in the area before the strikes were executed. Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Sunday Aneke commended the personnel involved and reaffirmed the Air Force commitment to sustain offensive operations against terrorist groups across the country. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention says country recorded 66 confirmed Lassa fever cases and 7 deaths within 3 weeks as the disease continued to spread across 23 states and 111 local government areas. The agency says Ondo, Bauchi, Taraba, Edo, and Benue account for about 85% of confirmed infections recorded so far this year, with no more than 5,000 suspected cases reported nationwide. Health authorities are urging Nigerians to remain vigilant and adopt preventive measures as efforts continue to contain the outbreak. The Kaduna State Ministry of Health has issued an urgent public health advisory following a rise in diphtheria cases with children, accounting for majority of infections recorded across affected communities. The ministry urged parents and caregivers to ensure children receive routine vaccinations, seek immediate medical attention for anyone showing symptoms, and avoid self-medication as health authorities intensify surveillance and response efforts. He also called on residents to maintain proper hygiene and cooperate with ongoing interventions being carried out alongside the Federal Ministry of Health, Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention, and development partners. Now, for many Nigerians, laughter is more than a reaction to jokes. It has become a way of coping with stress, uncertainty, and the pressures of every life. Now, in this special report, Global Television's Priscilla Obasi examines why people laugh and what laughter reveals about the human spirit. The report.
Laughter is one of the most universal forms of human expression. It can be heard in homes, workplaces, markets, and social gatherings, bringing moments of relief even in difficult times. Experts say people laugh for different reasons. It may be a response to humor, a way of connecting with others, a release from tension, or even a natural reaction to stressful situations. For many Nigerians facing economic challenges, busy work schedules, and the demand of daily life, laughter has become a healthy way to manage emotional pressure and maintain hope. The country's thriving comedy industry reflects this reality. Through comedy skits, stand-up performances, and humorous social media content, entertainers provide millions with moments of escape from everyday worries.
Laughter is that thing that makes sense to us at this point because basically everything is a joke in this country. So we laugh. But it's an easy solution. It's like a momentarily thing. You just chuckle about it and you deal with the grief later.
For others, laughter is not about pretending problems do not exist. Rather, it is a conscious decision to find joy despite life's challenges and to keep moving forward with optimism.
Why do I laugh? To ease my tension. Actually, I laugh for that. That's one. Then two, when I feel excited about what you say, I can laugh.
Psychologists explain that laughter offers several health benefits. It helps reduce stress, relax the body, strengthen social relationships, and improve emotional well-being.
Laughter is actually a style, a coping style when it comes to stress relief. When you laugh, it relaxes you because really and truly, when you worry and you don't have a solution, what will happen? You just end up getting sad, end up getting depressed, end up getting angry, and there's still no solution.
Beyond its health benefits, laughter also creates bonds between people. It breaks barriers, eases tension, and reminds people that they share common experiences regardless of their background. While laughter may not eliminate life's challenges, it remains one of humanity's simplest and most powerful ways of finding comfort, building resilience, and staying emotionally healthy. Priscilla Obasi, Global Television News.
Live broadcast of News Prime. News Prime continues after this weather forecast, plus business, foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Hello and glad to have you join us. Here's what we expect going into Sunday. We're beginning the day with a busy weather pattern across parts of Nigeria. The northwest will be the first to feel the impact as parts of Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Sokoto and Kebbi states are expected to wake up to thunderstorms. Down south, moderate rainfall is on the card for Oyo, Ogun, Ondo, Lagos, Bayelsa, Rivers, Cross River, and parts of Akwa Ibom state through the morning hours. Morning showers are also likely over parts of the Federal Capital Territory, Niger, and Kwara State. And as we head into the afternoon, the atmosphere becomes even more favorable for storm development. Thunderstorm activity is expected to increase in coverage and intensity across much of the country, with the greatest intensity forecast over the northern states and extending into parts of the north central region as well as the southern cities as the day unfolds. And that's your Sunday's weather outlook. Stay weather aware and have a lovely Sunday.
You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is News Prime on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In business now, the Office of the Vice President, in collaboration with the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, has entered into a partnership to unlock Nigeria's agricultural potential through a proposed $500 million investment under the Renewed Hope Agricultural Value Chain Initiative. Vice President Kashim Shettima, who was represented by the Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Ibrahim Hadeja, says the initiative will drive food sufficiency, attract private investment, and create jobs. Obong Usoro tells us more.
Vice President Kashim Shettima, who was represented by the Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Ibrahim Hadeja, explained that the fund is designed to provide a coordinated platform for agricultural development, attract both local and international investors, and create a pipeline of bankable agricultural projects across the Niger Delta region. He said the initiative is expected to boost agricultural productivity, strengthen agricultural value chain, create jobs, improve food security, and stimulate sustainable economic growth across the region. According to the Vice President, the program forms part of the federal government's broader efforts to reposition agriculture as a key driver of economic diversification and inclusive development.
The Niger Delta Agricultural Development and Investment Summit 2026 represents a strategic shift from potential to performance, from conversation to capital, and from fragmentation to coordination.
The Vice President added that the summit is aligned with President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda and is expected to bring together government officials, development partners, investors, financial institutions, and private sector stakeholders to develop a practical strategy for transforming Nigeria's agriculture economy over the next decade.
It aligns squarely with the national vision of building a resilient, diversified, and inclusive Nigerian economy with agriculture as a central driver. That this initiative will unlock new pathways for investment, create jobs, enhance food security, and position the Niger Delta as a key pillar in Nigeria's agricultural future.
The partnership is expected to explore investment opportunities, strengthen Nigeria's agricultural systems, and accelerate agricultural development. Ubong Usoro, Global TV News.
Moving on to the federal government has revived Nigeria's digital postcode project and begun integrating it with the national identification number to strengthen digital identity and improve address verification nationwide. The initiative follows a partnership between the National Identity Management Commission and the Nigerian Postal Service, with both agencies already linking postcode revival to the NIN platform. And the government says the integration will improve access to public services, while post offices will now serve as national identification number enrollment centers. On the foreign news now, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley has rejected calls for former British colonies to repay Britain for its historical investment, describing the suggestion as absurd and offensive. Mottley insisted that Britain should instead acknowledge the legacy of slavery and colonialism as Caribbean leaders continue to demand reparations, debt relief, and formal apology for historic injustices. Her remark came during the closing session of the Caribbean Community Summit in St. Lucia, among renewed regional calls for reparative justice. Iran's supreme leader has vowed revenge for the killing of his father and predecessor, United States-Israel strike, escalating tensions despite ongoing diplomatic effort to preserve a fragile ceasefire. The threat came hours after United States President Donald Trump warned that any attempt to assassinate him would trigger overwhelming military retaliation against Iran as both sides continued exchanging strong rhetoric. Meanwhile, mediators led by Qatar are pushing to revive negotiations with Iran, insisting it has honored its commitments under the existing ceasefire arrangement. In sports news now, Super Falcons head coach Justin Madagu has named a 25-player squad for the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations, retaining captain Rasheedat Ajibade, goalkeeper Chiamaka Inadozie, and forward assistant Oshoala of Nigeria's title defense. Defending champions will compete in Group C against Egypt, Zambia, and Malawi as they pursue a record-extending Alleviate Continental title in Morocco. One of the biggest surprises in the squad is the omission of defender Ashley Prompter, who played a key role in Nigeria's triumph at the last edition of the tournament. England will face Norway while Lionel Messi, Argentina, takes on Switzerland as the FIFA World Cup quarterfinals continue. England will be aiming to keep their title hopes alive against a determined Norwegian side, while Argentina seeks another step towards defending their crown. The winners of both matches will secure places in the semi-finals. Now, the German Football Federation says it has reached an understanding with Jürgen Klopp over his appointment as Germany's next head coach. The federation says talks will continue after securing approval from Klopp's current employers, the Red Bull Group, before a deal is finalized. Klopp is expected to replace Julian Engelmann following Germany's early exit from the FIFA World Cup. As Global TV News Prime comes to an end, let's take a quick look at our top stories again. Brought to you that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has improved the conversion of the Federal Polytechnic Nasarawa into the Federal University of Mining, Engineering and Technology as part of efforts to strengthen technical education and develop Nigeria's solid minerals sector. In business, the Office of the Vice President, in collaboration with Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, has entered into a partnership to unlock Nigeria's agricultural potential through a proposed $500 million investment under the Renewed Hope Agricultural Value Chain Initiative. And on the foreign scene, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley has rejected calls for former British colonies to repay Britain for its historic investment, describing the suggestion as absurd and offensive. And finally, in sports, Super Falcons head coach Justin Madagu has named a 25-player squad for the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations, retaining captain Rasheedat Ajibade, goalkeeper Chiamaka Inadozie, and forward Asisat Oshoala for Nigeria's title defense. And that's it on News Prime. Here's a quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365, Star Times channel 276, and Free TV. Now kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @GlobalTVNG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching.